What's goody team? What's goody team? Good morning. Great rising. Happy New Year. Hope everyone has had a great start to their year. We're just gonna go one by one through these pairs once again. I already did this earlier. I've been up since like 3 a.m. But AU, ACAD already hit STP ADR for the day. EA hit STP. ECAD is about to hit STP. EU hit STP already. GA hit STP already. GCAD is still at these highs. Right, GCAD is one that currently we just got the break of the zone of consolidation with yesterday's moves. Right, so I'm gonna wait this one out just a little bit. We'll see what happens with GCAD later on this week. GJ is just melting. Right, hasn't given us a great opportunity yet, but GJ I'm gonna start tackling GJ a lot more this year compared to the previous years that we've had GJ. Especially now. 3 months of rise already, we already know. 3 months of rise, after 3 months, the market must move sideways or go down. So I'll be expecting a little pullback from GJ. We didn't get a valid break of these 4-hour highs here, which was that zone of consolidation that we had on the 30-minute time frame. Right, huge zone of consolidation for 2 weeks. Price is just moving sideways, right? So we'll be patient with GJ. We'll wait it out, see what it wants to give us. GU, very similar to EU. STP has been hit already. NU, STP's been hit. Keeping an eye on US 30, looking for a potential type 2, maybe a type 3 pattern if price wants to go back up. Give us a little retest of inverse engulfing candle, right? A bearish engulfing candle. Bearish engulfing candle that we had. Flip zone, I should say. We had that gap at the bottom on the 5-minute time frame. 1 minute we're still respecting higher highs and higher lows, so I'll pretty much be waiting for the same thing that I was looking for on gold. USD CAD, I'm not going to be trading it. STP's been hit already. USD ZAR, STP's been hit already. Gold. I had a little engulfing candle here on the 5-minute, disrespected it at 8:15. Right, all we have is that change of character on the 5 minutes. So for me to feel comfortable with gold, I would want to see price give me a break of these lows. So we'll be patient with gold. I'm not gonna trade anything before that. Could I be looking at US 30 as a type 1 pattern on an uptrend where it breaks, comes down, then gives you the uptrend pushes back to the top side? It could happen. This is what I'm pretty much looking at on the 1-minute, right? Because we have the change, we have the break, and we're looking for the retest. Could price give us a retest, go a little bit steeper onto the 5-minute gap, fill the gap up, and then go? It could do that, right? And everything makes sense for that. 50 is above the 200. Price broke above the 800 on the 1-minute. But what's really just psyching me out of this trade, right, for that potential for price to continue that push to the top side, is just the areas that we're trading in. Right, we're trading on the daily time frame higher high. We're trading on a 4-hour higher high as well with a valid break. 30-minute, we're trading on a higher high as well. This one's a lot more risky, a lot more 50-50 on the markets right now. Especially with everything else going on. I kind of just want to make sure that everything is lining up together. And if there's something that's just not lining up together, if I have to just keep questioning what type of moves the markets are going to do, then I'm just going to play it easy, take a step back, and then come back to it later. So we'll be patient. And then again, Let me go to the chat real quick, make sure we're good. Mr. Bashir, welcome, my brother. Happy New Year, my brother. Thank you. It's been a busy end of the year, but I'm back just about a 100K account, which will be fully focused, which will be my full focus early in the year. That's amazing, my brother. Congrats on the 100K purchase, man. Sorry, I'm still at my parents' house, so I'm still down here in Miami for the holidays. I only got one monitor, so bear with me. But if you guys have any questions in the chat, let me know. Bitcoin, I'm not gonna be trading it. Right, too much shit going on. And then oil hasn't hit STP yet. Right, we're in a pretty big 30-minute zone. Right, when we're looking at the structure and where we're at, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Price came up, gave us a change of character, higher high. And then price has just been moving sideways for the last week, right? Rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, coming back to the highs, which is where we're at now. So we'll be patient. Again, oil, specifically at this time, too much news, too much going on, too many things that could happen at any moment. Very similar. Again, this is all the market's a repeated cycle, right? And the more life events you live through, especially when you're a trader, you get a sense, you know, a lot of traders at this point would be super anxious and nervous and wanting to catch every single move and worrying about when the next press conference is and yada yada yada. When realistically speaking, again, you got to treat these days the same way as any other day. We already know what the outcome is. We already know what could happen. We already know how volatile the market could move at any moment. Right now, something could happen. Fucking anywhere could get bombed right now, and the oil price is gonna do something. Same thing with US 30. Same thing with Bitcoin. Same thing with gold. Right? So when I'm looking at bigger pairs, right, very expensive pairs, pairs that move a lot during worldwide events, this is the moment where I just take a step back. And again, I'm looking at the same rules. There's nothing new. Right? What do we have on oil? We know we're in an overall downtrend. I don't trade counter trend. So okay, cool. Right now, all we have is a change of character to the top side. So at this moment, not only do we have a change of character to the top side, but we're also stuck in a zone of consolidation. Meaning, price is going to reject these lows, right, and go back up. Price is going to reject these highs, right, we'll mark it all as this here, and do what? Gonna go back down. Every single time. So it's just a waiting game. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting to see what price is gonna do up here. If price wants to give me a rejection of these highs, and we start seeing lower lows and lower highs, I'm gonna take these trades. As of right now, what is price still doing? Even if you go to the 1 minute time frame, price is still giving us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. It gave us an inducement here. There's one candle here at what? It's 7, what the 30 minutes? 7:30. 7:30 it gave you an inducement candle. Faked everyone out. Everybody who's trading the lower time frames, trying to catch the bigger move. So it's okay. Right? It's okay to take a step back sometimes. It's okay to play it safe and wait for the trend to start developing. Do we have a trend here on US oil? No. We already know we're not going to trend. We already know what's been going on for the last week. So if you already know that you're not in a trend, and you already know that specifically right now US oil is one of the pairs that you want to be careful with, because it's the pair that's being used right now to manipulate everybody, what are we going to do? Just take a step back. Right? So for today, as of right now, what I'm going to focus on, just two pairs. I'm going to focus on gold and US 30. The only two pairs right now that haven't hit STP or ADR. It's the only two pairs right now for the NYC session that I am expecting price to really do something. So any questions about any specific pairs, let me know. Again, guys, I only have one monitor with me, so bear with me. I'm going to be going back and forth from the charts to the chat. What's good, Albert? Happy New Year, my brother. Jessica, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. More wisdom and more wins. Yes, sir. Happy New Year. I appreciate that. Same to you guys. Gold, gotcha. Yeah, gold is the one pair that's on my list for now, so we'll go over that as well. We'll talk about it more in depth, and I'll update my chart too if I need to. I think this is the only pair that I've updated since I've been away. We'll do gold. Any other pairs, any other questions? Let me know. I'll give you guys another 2 minutes in the chat. Anything you guys want me to talk about, anything you guys want me to explain. Once again, any specific questions, specific pairs, let me know. We'll go over gold. Mr. Agent, Happy New Year, my brother. Good morning. I've had a crazy start to my new year, though. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of fucking wild. Oh, man. Just for context, I have like last night was the first night that I actually slept, and it wasn't even a full sleep. I fell asleep at like 9:30, something like that, and I woke up at 3. So I at least got like a good 6 hours of sleep. But like for the last 3, 4 nights before last night, I haven't slept. I was on a fucking blender, man. And I wish it was a good one too. Like I've just been since the 31st. Well, since a little bit before the 31st. Actually, no, since the 31st or the 30th, life has just been throwing rocks at me. Like, what the fuck? What did I do? Do you think it's gonna react back? I got you. We'll go over gold now. I'll give everybody another minute. Just waiting to see if anybody has any other pairs before I go to the other screen real quick. So again, I only have one monitor, so if I'm on the charts, I can't see the chat. So I'm gonna be pulling it up. You know, every couple minutes I'll pull up the chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free. Let me know. Um, in case you're about to end the stream, can we look into the market structure? US 30 oil. Oil looks like it's following structure. I got you, Albert. We'll go over it. Brother, the car. Yeah, that's just like the beginning. I guess that shit is just giving me more problems now, bro. Like, I don't even want to fucking talk about it type shit. Brother, it's insane. Like, I thought it was just gonna be a little. From when I saw it the first time, I was like, okay, cool. They didn't do nothing crazy. I'll be fine. And like, every day after that, it's been something else. Just to give you the context, yesterday and the night before, car left me stranded, bro. I had to take the battery out of the car, take the fucking battery to AutoZone. It was already like 8 p.m. and they close at 9. So I had to leave the battery at AutoZone. I left my car at the parking lot overnight. My car got fucking towed. The next morning, obviously the car wasn't there, so I had to go pick up the battery at AutoZone. I went to the tow yard. I picked up my fucking car. They charged me an arm and a leg to get the fucking car out of the lot. Luckily, the fucking car turned on with the battery. I took it to the mechanic. He was like, yo, from what I could see and what you're telling me, it doesn't look like it's a big deal. But we'll test the battery, we'll test the alternator, we'll see if they fuck something up. Long story short, they fucked up the alternator. I was able to get the car on. He was like, yo, just bring it back to me today, right? So he told me this yesterday. He was like, bring it back to me today. On my way home, again, this was already at fucking 8 p.m. It could have happened at any other time. Um, on my way home, my fucking car left me stranded again. So I was like, dude, I had to get another tow. This time, the ones that the police brings you and shit, because I was in the middle of the road. Had to get my fucking car towed again to the mechanic. That's another fucking $300, yo. I have to get a new alternator, which is another 200, $300 to then get it fucking fixed and installed is gonna be at least another 500, 600. Yo, I don't even wanna know anymore, bro. I'm about to just fucking tell somebody to burn that fucking car down and have just submit an insurance claim. Shit is crazy, Albert. So I've just been a hell of a fucking week, man. Crazy start to the year. And that's just the car, right? At the end of the day, it's just a fucking car. It is what it's annoying, it's a hassle, it's a lot of fucking money to put into it. And we're not even gonna speak about the emotional shit that's been going on too on stream. Fuck that. That's another can of worms that I opened up that I should have never done, but it's all good. But we're good, man. You know, mentally, physically, we're okay. So it's fine. It is what it is. It's just one of those moments in life where you just gotta buckle up and just let life do what it's gotta do, bro. It's better to start off the year fucking getting rocks thrown at you. It's the only way to the only option you got left is to go back to the top. So I gotta let this time pass, fix everything I gotta fix, and then just keep grinding. The shit that sucks is that I'm stranded in Miami, bro. I just literally got a fucking new bed, a new bed frame in my house over there in Orlando. I've only slept in that bed once. I'm like, dude, I just want to go home and sleep. I just want to go home to my bed. So it's all good, man. All right, so no other questions in the chat, no other pairs besides the structure on oil and 30 and then gold. I got you. We'll go over those now. Sorry about the media. The battery warning light turns on. It doesn't blink. You should have parked somewhere quickly. The alternator really does that too. Yeah, I mean, that's the shit where we were unsure of what it really was because everything was good. And the warning light was blinking, right? So in my car, if it's blinking, it's just the battery. But my car was just, dude, they fucked it up, bro. Everything, like the ignition cylinder, they put a screwdriver through it. The pin on the actual ignition that tells the computer if there's a key in the ignition is messed up. So the first couple nights, I didn't know it was messed up until my battery died. So that was the reason my battery died as well. My battery dying, I'm pretty sure, like it went to zero. That's what shot the alternator as well. Again, I got the battery charged. The battery charged immediately. So that should have been my indicator already. That is going to be the alternator if anything else happens. What I should have done is just fucking booked it home. I made one stop after the mechanic to buy fucking the 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 bulb for my brake light. And the shit literally happened in the last corner before I got to the house too. Like my shit couldn't wait another 5 minutes for it to break down. But regardless, I would have had to have gotten it towed to the mechanic today. So it's like it's another. I would have had to spend that money anyway. Here was Goody Kendall. Gary Rousey, my brother. Alright, so once again, guys, once I have the chart up, I can't see the chat. So, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll go back and forth from the chart to the chat. So we'll go over gold first. Right, let me go look back at that question real quick with gold. Gold, you said, do you think is gonna react back? Um, what do you mean by react back? Are you looking for short position, long positions? What support and resistance zone are you looking at if that's what you're looking for? Because right now, just basing it off structure, right? Plain and simple. Daily time frame, what is price doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a higher low, right? Could price react to this higher low area to continue back up into the higher highs? Absolutely. Going into the 4-hour time frame. Again, this is all just structure. That's all I'm looking at right now is just purely structure and candlesticks, right? Candlestick analysis. On the 4-hour time frame. Right now, the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame has the same structure. Higher high, higher low. Price came up, gave us a higher high over here. Price came down, gave us a higher low, respected the previous support zone that it had, and then price started coming up to the top side. Right, so technically speaking, right now the daily and the 4-hour time frame, they're both on an uptrend. Right, who was it that I was doing this chart with? Was it Kendall? Yo, Kendall. I think it was you, right? 100%. Let's Marking this up. Yo, I'm gonna mark up every single zone that you're gonna see price react towards. Yeah, I'm a fucking wizard, man. I'm a fucking wizard. Alright. Right, so right now the daily and the 4-hour are still uptrending. There's really nothing else to really talk about here on the 4-hour, besides the fact that we have this gap at the bottom of the market that should already give you an indication like, okay, cool. We have a gap in the market. We understand that gaps have do two things in the market. The number one thing, it resets the trend, right? And the second thing that gaps do, you know that price always has to come down and fill the gaps, or it goes up and fills the gap. In this case, since the gap is at the bottom, price has to come down and fill this gap. However, right, the one thing that you never know is when that gap is going to be filled. There's some gaps in the market that are filled right away, right? There's some gaps in the market that takes a day or two for it to come down and fill the gap. And sometimes gaps are left in the market for months and months and months, right? Which is a situation that we had with AUD USD, with a gap that was created last year in October, and that's currently an area where we're looking for price to go to then start looking for price to start trending in the correct way. On the 4-hour time frame too, at these highs, which we'll see for today, what do we have at the highs? We have exhaustion candles, right? But in this case, we have exhaustion candles going both ways. We have both bearish and bullish exhaustion candles literally being printed right after one another, right? We have 3 exhaustion candles that were printed back to back to back. So already for me right now, just based on structure, I'm not really going to be looking at the candlestick analysis on the 4-hour because it's not really giving me any strong signals. It's just inducing traders, right? Making you believe at 5 p.m. as soon as the market opened, right? That this was going to be an exhaustion candle, we're going to continue to go up. And then it goes up and gives you an exhaustion candle, makes you believe price is going to go down. Price goes down a little bit, goes up, right? That 4-hour candle turns out to be another exhaustion candle, making you believe that price is going to go down. And then look at this 4-hour candle. Price is coming back up again. So that's already giving you an indication that right now the market makers are just trapping traders. They're just trying to get you into a trade to hit your stop losses. Right? So once you already understand that on the 4-hour time frame, now you go to the 30-minute. Right? Now you look at the day-to-day, what is price doing? We have 2 days of rise. We could be expecting a 3rd day push. Price already gave us that 3rd day push. Cool. We had a little 15-minute type 1, type 2, type 3 pattern, right? We don't know what it is yet. Right now, price was consolidating, started trending a little bit when the market opened, and then what happened towards the end of Asia going into London, price started consolidating again on the lower time frames. And again, just trapping traders. On the 30-minute time frame, if you thought that after the exhaustion candles on the 4-hour, you saw this engulfing candle going short, if you took this entry straight to stop loss. Right? At the same time, as soon as price gave you the stop loss, what did price do? It gave you another engulfing candle, but this time it was a bullish engulfing candle. And what happened? If you would have gotten into that trade thinking that price was going to continue that push to the top side, straight to stop loss. Right? On the 5-minute time frame, what did price do? Same thing in the same areas. It's just trapping traders who are trading a little bit different. It gave you another bearish engulfing candle. And if you would have taken this trade straight to stop loss, after it hit your stop loss, it created another one. Let's see if this one is a valid one. Right, not a valid engulfing candle because that red candle does not have a top wick. Well, it does. It's a small wick. Right, so we have another engulfing candle. So at this moment, it's like, okay, cool. Outside of candlestick analysis, what else can we look at on the 5-minute time frame? And this is where structure comes in. Right now on the 5-minute time frame, we're trading higher high, higher low. Price gave us higher high, higher low. Right? It gave us the inducement of the high, which is what I have marked here. It gave us a little 5-minute higher high. And then it gave us a lower low change of character. So at this moment, for gold, I'm not looking to take a trade up here. What I'm looking for is for price to give me that valid break of structure at these lows. Once price gives me the break, if we get an entry, whether it's a retest, an engulfing candle, whatever the case is, this is where I'm going to start looking to take a trade, and this is where I'll be looking to take my profit, at the bottom of STP. but I'm gonna wait for that change of character to be made, and I'm gonna wait for the break of structure to happen after the change of character. Once we get that break, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades to go back down. Now, could price, let's talk about the other side, which is the buy positions. Could price technically continue to buy? Absolutely. But before I get into any buy positions on gold, once again, what I'm gonna be looking at, and if you guys need a screenshot, take the screenshot. I'll go back to the 5 minute, but I'm gonna delete all of this. I'm not gonna keep this on my screen. If you guys want to take a screenshot of the structure, how I have it marked here, take a screenshot. I'll give you guys 10 seconds. And then we'll talk about the other side, which is the buy positions. This is what I'm currently looking for if I were to be looking for short positions. All right, so I'm going to delete some of these things here. We'll have a clean chart. Right, so talking about the buy positions. Currently, once again, what is price doing? We're in a zone of consolidation on the 5-minute time frame. So in order for me to feel comfortable taking any buy positions, what do I want to see? I either want to see price give me an inducement of the lows, right? I want to see price give me an inducement of the low to then look for something like this to happen. Or I'll be looking for price to give me a break of structure of the highs or retest to then continue, right? Right now, in the middle of the zone of consolidation, I'm not going to be trading. Why? Because we already know what a zone of consolidation is. A zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders. They're inducing traders to get into a trade to hunt for stop losses. Once you already understand that this is what a zone of consolidation is, it makes it so much more simple to trade. And it already leaves you with the understanding that, okay, since price is in the middle of the zone of consolidation, I'm not going to take a trade. The only times I'll be looking to take a trade is either if price gives us an inducement of the low and then turns around to continue that trend back to the top side, or if price gives you the break of structure of the zone of consolidation, the retest to then continue, right? Which is the breakout trade. So those are my only two options when it comes to my buy positions on gold. And then again, the only position I have for my sells is if price gives us a break of these lows. And that's okay, right? Let's say we get into a trade, it'll be somewhere in this area here, right? We'll be talking about anywhere between a 30 to 40 pip stop loss on gold. And then our TP is going to be anywhere between, our TP is going to be 344 pips. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. I think you guys will be chilling with that too. Let me know if that made any sense on the chat. Thank you. No problem, Jessica. How the car break, brother? It just got worse and worse, man, as time went down. To be honest with you. There's also a 5-minute bullish engulfing. Yep. You have, this one that just printed now, right? You have the bearish one that just printed now. You have the bearish one that printed a few minutes ago. You had this one earlier as well, right? You have this one here as well. So there's a lot of engulfing candles that's been printed in the last 3-4 hours on the markets. Yeah. But again, I wouldn't use this one. I wouldn't use this one. I wouldn't use this one. I wouldn't use this one, because we're still in a zone of consolidation, right? If price, just for context, right? When would I use this engulfing candle here? When would this be a high probability? Is if the 5-minute time frame would have given us something like this, where we say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And this is the change of character, higher high, right? And we start seeing the trend shifting from a downtrend to an uptrend, then we could say like, okay, this is most likely the area where price is going to give us a pullback to, and this is where we could be expecting price to do something like this, right? If we have a change of character, break of structure, if we're in an uptrend. right? But the fact that, again, we're not in a trend, I can't be looking for I can't be looking for an entry criteria that you would be looking for when you're in a trend when price is in a zone of consolidation, right? And again, is the same reason why this engulfing candle here didn't work, right? Is the same reason why this engulfing here went straight to stop loss, right? Is the same reason why this engulfing candle here, right, went straight to stop loss. Is the same reason why now, if you would have taken this trade here, you would be in drawdown and you're almost at stop loss. Is because you're taking an entry criteria, right? Yes, the market is always going to print, again, and I'll say this every single stream, the market is always going to print double bottoms, right? The market is always going to print double tops. The market is always going to print order blocks and fair value gaps. The market's always going to give you whatever strategy it is that you're looking for, right? So it's not a question of whether or not the market is going to give you an entry criteria. The market is going to give it to you every single day, hundreds of times a day, right? The question is, which one is a high probability trade and which ones are the low probability trade, right? And once you understand, like, okay, this engulfing candle here is low probability because we're not in a trend, we're in a zone of consolidation. This engulfing candle here is low probability because we're in a zone of consolidation, we're not in a trend. This engulfing candle here is a low probability. Why? Because we're in a zone of consolidation, we're not in a trend, right? Same reason why this engulfing candle here is low probability, because we're in a zone of consolidation, we're not in a trend, right? And again, the zone of consolidation is here. This is where price has rejected lows, went highs, rejected highs, went low, rejected lows, went high, rejected highs, went low, rejected the low, and came back to the top. And did what? Came back to the bottom, right? So none of these engulfing candles, I don't care about them. I'm not even going to mark them on my chart because I already know that these are low probability. And again, the only thing I'm looking for is either for price to break these highs to give us the retest to then continue, or for price to give me a break of structure after the change of character on the 5-minute time frame to give me the break, the retest to then continue. Everything else that's happening in between those highs and everything else that's happening between those lows is a zone of consolidation, is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade to hunt for their stop losses, right? They induced you here, making you believe that price was going to give you the market makers induced you here, right, with this engulfing candle, making you believe that this was going to be a bearish engulfing candle. They induced you to get into a trade to hunt for your stop loss. They gave you this engulfing candle here to induce you to get into a trade to do what? To hunt for your stop losses and hit your stop loss, right? They made this engulfing candle here to do what? To induce you to get into this trade. And again, currently, if you got into this trade, you're still sitting in the trade and you're in drawdown. And again, gold is an expensive pair. Not a lot of people could hold, number one, not a lot of people could hold through a 61 pip stop loss on gold. And right now, if you were to take this trade, you're down 30 or 33 pips on gold. And again, it's a very expensive amount of pips to be in drawdown on gold. So that's the reason why I'm not marking up any of those engulfing candles. Because again, we already know we're in a zone of consolidation. There's no trend. So we already know a zone of consolidation, once again, what's the definition? Area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders. Cool. What else is there to talk about? Right? Everything else you do after that is your own fault. You're either going to wait for a break and a retest, or you're going to get into a trade now because you want to catch a multi-million-dollar trade that you know is a 90% chance of failing. Right? It doesn't make any sense. Over 300 pips is above, cool, bro. That's more than enough. People trade gold. Go look at people on Instagram. Go look at people on YouTube streams. People are catching 3 pips on gold and they're happy. Of course, because it's an expensive pair. 3 pips on gold is like if you're trading 30 pips on a regular Forex pair. Just put it in perspective. So if you're catching 300 pips on gold, you're good. You're good. Once again, you're good. You don't need more than that. Before that last minute bearish one, poor Shirley, poor Shirley. Exactly, inducing both ways. That's all they're doing right now, Adrian. So that's why gold right now, the best thing to do, wait it out. Wait it out. We're either gonna wait for a break above the zone of consolidation to then continue, or we're gonna wait for that break below to give us that 5-minute break of structure after the change of character. That's it. This is the only things that we could do right now on gold. Everything else is a 50-50 gamble, and again, I don't go to the casino. I don't play the lottery. That's not something I do. I don't play the 50-50 game. Everything I do, I try to make it above 90% at least. That's just the way I run with life. It's easier that way. Is it more boring? Absolutely. I don't get the rush of going to the casino and putting 50,000 on black and having it hit and oh my god, I could have lost 50,000 but I made it. That's not the adrenaline that I go for, man. That's not my thing. Right? My adrenaline is being able to mark up my charts perfectly every single time and being able to go to the stream and literally show you guys the masterpiece, right? Like, yo, Kendall, speak to them in the chat, man. When was it that we went over this chart? What day was it that we hopped in Discord? I don't even remember anymore. Was it like on the 3rd or something? It's a couple days ago. Let them know in the chat. All these markings you see here, let me turn off the session breaks for you guys. These markings you see here, every little support resistance zones that we have, this one here, this one here, this one here, I marked this up a few days ago. Marked this up a few days ago, just to let you guys know. So being able to mark this up a few days ago before price even made any of these moves, and seeing price do exactly what it is that I talk about, that's the rush that I get. That's the high that I chase. That's the adrenaline rush that I go for every single time I'm on the charts. Because I already know this. I already know this like a Harry Potter book. I already know this like a Harry Potter movie. How many times I watched the Harry Potter movie? I know every single line. I know every single song that's going to come up. I know every single scene that's going to happen. I know every single chapter. I'm a nerd. It's the same thing on the charts. I'm a nerd on the charts. I already know what's going to happen before it happens. Right? The whole thing is, number one, are you awake when the moves happen? Because if the moves happen at 2, 3 in the morning, best believe I'm sleeping. But if the moves are given to me when I'm on the charts, best believe I'm taking it. 100% of the time, every single time. Trading for me is super simple. It's not something that I don't overcomplicate it. Right? It's not something that I have to sit here and question every single thing. And if there is ever a time on the charts where I have to question what the hell is going on, I step away. I turn off that chart and I go look at another one. And I go find something else that looks good. You have over 60 pairs to trade in the Forex market. Go and find one that makes sense. And you're trading the same thing. You're looking for the same thing. So, I think the second, we already went over this. Easy read, facts. I might need a one-on-one on gold, US 30 and oil. I understand that gold doesn't follow structure, but are we looking for gold to go on the downtrend? No, gold does follow structure. Gold is just a bigger pair. But I'll also tell you this, Albert. I wouldn't do a one-on-one session just speaking about gold, 30, or oil. Not because it's just you, but this goes for everybody. Gold, US 30, GBP, JPY, oil, Bitcoin, silver, platinum, those are all pairs you have to graduate to. Those are very big pairs, very advanced pairs. So again, if you can't see valid moves on pairs like AUD USD, Euro USD, GBP USD, right? And I'll give you the example, right? Pairs that move Go to the 30 so we can see it, right? Pairs like AUD USD that move 37 pips. Pairs like Euro USD that move 47 pips. Pairs like GBP USD that move 70 pips, right? If you can't see exactly what I just talked about on gold, if you can't see those moves happening on GBP USD, AU, EU, ECAD, right? Those small moving pairs, how are you expecting to look at it on a pair like US 30 that moves 452 pips? On a pair like gold that moves 900 pips? On a pair like Bitcoin that moves 203 pips, right? I don't have silver here, I don't think. On a pair like platinum that moves 173 pips, right? Those are all pairs that you have to graduate to. This is not a pair that sorry, excuse me, let me drink some water real quick. Those aren't pairs that beginner traders should go and look for, right? So before you even get to gold, US 30 and oil, the number one pair that you should go look at is GJ, GBP JPY. Why? It's still a good moving pair, right? It's still a regular Forex pair, but it's one of the only pairs that has an ADR above 100 pips. And it's still forgiving. GJ is still a pair that's forgiving. But before you even look at GJ, you need to make sure that you master GU and AU and EU and ECAD, right? Those smaller pairs that move below 50, 60 pips. Anything above that, you're setting yourself up for failure, because there's a lot of intricate things that you need to know, that you need, not even that you need to know, that you need to know like the back of your hand. Like, again, if there's one rule that if I go and I tell you, yo, what's this, and if I give you right now a 50 question test, if I give you a test right now with 50 questions, all having to deal with market structure, candlestick analysis, everything that I've taught so far, if there's one question that you get wrong, that's enough for you to understand and know that you're not ready yet. You're not ready to graduate to look at these bigger pairs. Because again, one wrong move on US 30 is not going to cost you $20. Again, for you to even trade US 30, you need $200 minimum on your broker account. Let's just start off there. Minimum on your broker account, a real account, not a fake demo prop firm account. On a real broker live account, minimum you need on your account to trade US 30 is $200 US. With that being said, do you understand how much $200 is when it comes to pips on US 30? Is 20 pips. So if you take one trade on US 30 on your live account and you going to draw down 20 pips, 20 pips, we're not talking about 60 pips, and we're talking about 20 pips. If you go in to draw down 20 pips on US 30, you blew your account. You're blowing the account. So again, I wouldn't do those sessions with you just looking at gold or I wouldn't even go over those pairs with you on a one-on-one session. And again, it's not only you, this goes to everybody. The only person, I'm telling you this right now, and I'll say it on stream so everybody understands. The only person who could talk to me about US 30, gold, and those bigger pairs is gonna be Kendall. He's the only one that could talk to me about those pairs. He's the only one that has graduated to be able to look at those pairs. Everyone else, I'll be glad to do it with any other pair. I'll be glad to continue to give you guys the tools that you need for success, the same way that I've done it with everybody, the same way that I've done it with Kendall, same way that I've done it with over 50 fucking people this entire year for 2025. I'll be glad to give you guys those tools. But what I'm not going to do is do what E was doing in the beginning of the year, which was giving you guys more than what you could chew, because you're just going to get confused. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to start using you're gonna start using rules that you need to use on the 1 minute time frame, and you're gonna go use it on the 30 minute, and then you're gonna be confused as to why you didn't do this, or why this didn't work out, or why this looks different than that. There's too many rules. You gotta take it one by one. Need to take it one by one. Once you understand the first thing, you go to this again. It's the same as school, man. When in 8th grade, you're learning pre-algebra. After you learn pre-algebra for 10 months, you go to 9th grade, you start high school, you learn algebra 1. Then you do another 9 months, 10 months of school, and then you go to 10th grade and you graduate, and then in 10th grade you learn algebra 2, right? And then you fucking go and you look at after your 10th grade, your junior year, you look at whatever other math comes after that. And then you keep going, you keep graduating, right? It's not, oh, I'm in 8th grade and I'm learning algebra 1, algebra 2, trigonometry, and everything all at once. Like, no, you're learning step by step by step by step. You can't do it all at once. You're gonna get confused. You're gonna start using formulas that you learned in pre-algebra, and you're gonna go back and use it in trigonometry when it's two different things that they don't even correlate. You can't do it that way. GJ is an A1, but it's at an all-time high, breaking above level 1. Let's go look at that real quick. GJ is not an A1. See what I mean? Like, GJ is not an A1. And again, the reason why GJ is a very confusing pair and why you would think you're an A1, I understand why you would think you're an A1. It's a big pair. GJ moves exactly how US 30 moves in a lot of cases. And if you go look, the same thing that happened with US 30 in the beginning of 2025 in April is the exact same thing that GJ has been doing. Exact same thing. And this happened in October. The beginning of this happened in October of 2024. So number one example was that message right there. It's like those little mistakes is going to cost you a lot of money. You still have a lot of work to do before you even think about trading gold and 30 and oil and even GJ. You need to focus on the smaller pairs, Albert. You need to focus on the smaller pairs. You need to focus on AU. The 16 pairs that we have on our list, and I'll turn them on for you here, and I'll say it on stream so you can go back. Right? AU, ACAD, EA, ECAD, EU, GA, GCAD, GJ, right? GU. I'm not going to do your homework for you. NZD, USD, USD CAD, USD ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, and oil. Right? How many pairs is that? 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pairs. Out of these 16 pairs, the only, and this goes for everybody in the chat, the only pairs you should have on your screen every single day updating should be pairs with less than 80 pips. If your name is not Kendall, you should not have any other pairs on your list that are more than 80 pips. And again, I'm not going to do their homework for you. Go on your charts. You have the ADR tool. Open up AUD USD. Right? Go to the 30-minute time frame. I'll do the first homework for you. I got you. The first one. I'll give you an example. You go to AU. You go to the 30-minute. You look at the ADR. Is ADR below 80 pips? Yes. Keep it on. Go to ACAD. Is ACAD below 80 pips? It's at 39. Yes, you keep that on. EA, is it below 80 pips? No, it's at 86. Turn it off. Don't even look at it. As a matter of fact, delete it off your chart. Delete it off your chart. Don't even pay attention to it. And do the same thing for ECAD, for EU, for GA, for GCAD, for GJ, for GU. If it's above 80 pips, turn it off. Don't even look at it. Only focus on the pairs that are below 80 pips. Focus on the first thing, which is understanding every single rule, market structure, market maker's pattern, the 3 levels, to the 2 zones of consolidations, the crossings of the EMAs, what level you're at depending on what EMA bounce you're looking for. Those are all the small things you need to know. Because again, One little mistake in market structure, one little mistake on the market maker's pattern, one little thing that makes you believe that, oh, but we're in A1 when price is still making higher highs and higher lows and we're in peak high territory. How could we be in A1? Right? So now you believe that you're in A1, you start looking for short positions, and then the short position that you're looking for, you're going to get stopped out, is going to go straight to stop loss. And again, you're doing that on a pair that stop losses are going to be 20 to 30 pips. Right? You're doing it on a pair like US 30 and gold where a stop loss is 60, 70 pips. Very expensive pairs. You can't make those mistakes. You can't make those mistakes. So again, we'll focus on US 30 and gold. Damn, 30 gave us that while we were talking here. It gave us a closure of the gap. Right, we're still trading higher high, higher low. Price came up, gave us an inducement of the high. Right, then price came down and gave us a change of character, lower low here. 1 minute change of character. And we are now trading between these highs here and these lows down here. Now this gap has already been filled. And there's another gap that was made here. But this is the 1 minute gap. Okay. Gap was already filled with that candle. We still have that 15-minute. Give me a second. Right, we're still looking at this, waiting to see what type of structure we're going to get here, right? Could this be a type 3 pattern on the 15-minute time frame for a downtrend? Could this be a type 1 pattern for an uptrend? That could still be. We'll really know right before 9:30. We'll get that we'll get a little confirmation, right? Could this be just an inducement of the low to fake traders out, make them believe that price is going to go down to then just continue to the top side? Absolutely. Right, even on the 5-minute time frame, we can see we have another engulfing candle being printed here. So we'll be patient with 30. And then again, gold, I'm either going to be looking for price to give me a break of the highs to then continue, or I'll be looking for price to give me the break of structure below after that change of character was given. So let me know if you guys have any questions, anything else you want to talk about. If you don't understand the structure at a certain time, you're probably looking at a zone of consolidation. Yep, exactly. We're still in level 3 rise. Yep, on GJ, we're still in that level 3 rise. The 800 EMA is really powerful. The almighty 800 EMA. The almighty 800 EMA, man. 800 EMA will save you from getting faked out 90% of the time. Not only when you're looking at structure, but when you're looking for entries, 800 EMA is going to save you a lot. Again, you already know the 800 EMA, price has to respect it. Price always respects the 800 EMA. Doesn't matter what time frame you're in. Especially when you're trading with the trend. See, the engulfing candle didn't even print on US 30. Just crazy candles are being printed, man. Exhaustion candle to the bottom side, exhaustion candles to the top side. This is the 5-minute time frame. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30 minutes. Right? 30 minutes of just fake candles being printed. Just crazy candles being printed. Just making everybody, it's 9:20, we gotta get into a trade now before the market's open. Like, yo, there again, for me it's not a surprise anymore. For me it's not nerve-wracking. It doesn't make me anxious no more. Like, all we're following is candlesticks. And again, the language of the charts is candlestick analysis. If you're confused about the chart, just look at the candlesticks. If you're confused about something on the charts, just look at the candlesticks. The candlesticks tell you exactly what you need to know. It's very simple. But again, it's only simple if you understand the language. Like, again, to me, it's super simple understanding the language of Spanish. For me, it's very difficult to understand Portuguese. Eu não falo português. So because I don't speak Portuguese, it's fucking difficult for me to understand Portuguese. The charts are the same way because I understand candlestick analysis and because I understand market structure and I understand the overall trend and the market maker's pattern, how the EMAs are used and what the candlesticks mean. It's very easy for me to just open up the chart and be able to tell you guys this is what's going to happen. And again, it'd be a whole bunch of bullshit if I wasn't here on stream telling you guys what's gonna happen. And you guys see it happening in front of your eyes. Like, it's literally happening right now. If you blink, you miss it. Everything we just talked about, it's happening right now. So again, it's easy for me because I already understand it. I have an understanding of it. I get it. I understand it. There's not another word I could use. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours that I've put into this since 2020. It's been 6 years. Technically 2021, so we'll say 5 years. It's gonna be 5 years already this year. It's a lot of time. Again, people go to school for 4 years to study, get a degree, and then go get a job. Trading is the same way. If you think you're gonna start trading today and tomorrow you're gonna be a fucking master at it, yo, wake up. I'm tired of saying that shit. I say that every beginning of the year, every single year, every time people join the stream, oh, they want to learn how to trade and they think they're gonna get it in 2 weeks. Yo, good luck. You're not gonna get all of this in 2 weeks. You might be the lucky person depending on how much time you put into it and how passionate and how motivated you are to actually do it. You might be that lucky person that does it in a year. You might be. But the truth is, this is going to take you 2, 3, 4 years before you really fully understand it. Does that mean that it's going to take you that amount of time to make money and to start seeing a little bit of cash? Absolutely not. You could start making money off of trading after 6 months, 8 months to a year. Absolutely. Because there's a whole bunch of things you're going to learn. Especially when it comes to us. You're going to learn 372s, right? On the 30-minute time frame. You're going to learn the 4-hour, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of rise. The daily 2 weeks or the daily 2 months, 3 months of rise or drop, right? Just with that alone, you could start making money. Now, everything else that comes into it, the EMAs, how you use them, what levels you're in, the engulfing candles, the exhaustion candles, the change of character, the break of structure, the 3 pushes, the inducements to then go into the trend, those are all things you're going to have to learn piece by piece. You can't learn all of that in 1 week. You can't. It's too much. It's too much information. Again, unless you're Albert Einstein and you're a genius and you're putting in 12 hours a day the way that I did when I was learning, and you're going to sleep with videos in your fucking ear and on your speakers, and you're waking up and you're in the bathroom, you're taking a shower with the courses and the videos, and you're constantly, instead of watching TV and Netflix, all you're doing is watching the courses and watching the videos and taking notes and writing notes on your wall and on your notebook. Unless you take this shit serious, there's no way you're going to understand this in less than 2 years. There's no way. I'm guaranteeing you that. If you're listening to music instead of watching courses on repeat in your ear, I guarantee you're not going to understand this in less than 2 years. It's just impossible. It's impossible. You often make mention of 9:30. Can you explain it further? Yeah, 9:30, that's when the market's open. The NYC markets open at 9:30. So 9:30, that's when you'll see bigger pairs like US 30, like gold. You'll see that that's the time that the markets are super volatile. That's 90% of the time, 9:30, US 30, gold, Bitcoin, those bigger pairs, those pairs that move during the NYC session, 9:30, that's when it's going to move. Why? Because 9:30 a.m., that's when the markets open for the NYC session. Um, he understands it now. 9:30 is the time NY stock markets open. Yep, exactly. You could expect more volume and volatility. Yep, exactly. See what I'm saying, Albert? It's not a shot at you, my brother. I promise you it's not. It's just you're giving me just more juice, just more examples. But again, you asking that question, and you've been with us for how long already? I can't do a one-on-one session with you when it comes to US 30 and gold and all these other pairs. Because if you don't even know that, imagine you get into a trade on US 30 before the 9:30 open. Again, is there times where you can get into a trade before the 9:30 open on gold and US 30 and all these other pairs? Absolutely. Absolutely. But on the days where you're not really supposed to, and you don't know that the market open at 9:30 and you're into a trade, straight to stop loss. Straight to stop loss. And it's going to hurt because again, you're not trading AU, a 20 pip pair. You're trading US 30, a pair that moves 452 pips. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. That's going to be a very big loss. So again, these bigger pairs are pairs that you have to just graduate to. You have to graduate to them. These aren't pairs that you should be even looking at if you're just starting your journey with trading. And again, I also understand the mentality that a lot of people have, especially a lot of people in our group. Oh, but I'm not a beginner trader because I've started learning in 2018. I get it. The problem is that the information that you've been taught since 2018, before you joined me, has been fake information. It's fake information. It's bad information. Maybe there's some things that do make sense and some things that you probably, you could use. But unfortunately, if you were learning bullshit for the last 10 years, you have no experience. You're still a beginner trader. But again, I understand. 99% of the people who join us have been people who've already started learning how to trade for 3-4 years and they're still not profitable. I get it. A very close friend of ours, of me and Kendall, he's on the same boat. He's been trading since 2017, 2016. And to my knowledge, I haven't spoken to him in a little bit. To my knowledge, he's still struggling. Because the information that he was learning for the first 6-7 years, horrible information from people who scam online. So that's just the reality of it. Unfortunately, that is the reality of the trading space now. And it's been a reality for a long time. I often sit up during London session. Yeah, London session is good to trade. You know, I've thought about it a lot. That's the reason why I woke up today as well, very early, was to be able to trade the London session and see if there was anything that was good. But a lot of these pairs have been moving literally as soon as the markets open for Asia session, so hasn't really been that lucky. Boom, 9:30. See how crazy these candlesticks print. Opened up with a small gap, came back down. Look how fast. If you caught that, look how fast price moved. That it went. You don't even see price go down and come up. It just lagged on the screen. Then it comes up like 9:30. Markets just opened. There's an influx of orders coming in. Banks are opening up. Order flows are coming in. People are doing withdrawals and deposits. The market is going to be crazy. Let it do what it has to do. right? A second ago we were just up here, and then you blink and you miss it, and it's all the way at the bottom. Right? It gave you the change, it gave you a little inducement, it came up, it gave you an inducement of the high again, right? Just trapping traders left and right here. Just trapping traders. Right? So instead of saying, the way I'm going to be looking at it is lower low, lower high, right? I'm looking for a candle closure. We got a candle closure down here, right? So I'm going to say that all of this is the lower low, right? The lower highs are going to be whatever lower highs are made up here. So what I'm looking for on US 30, in order for this to continue to go down, if that's what price wants to do, I need to see price give us a break of these lows down here, right? For price to continue this uptrend push, for this to be a type 1 pattern, I'll have to see how price is developing. Because right now on the lower time frames, the only thing we would really want to wait for is for price to just give us that change of character, break of structure to the top side, and this is where we'll start looking to take the trades back to the top side for a type 1 pattern, and then we'll adjust our STP to the top side instead of to the bottom side. So again, this is just where you just gotta be patient. Just gotta be patient, right? Work around what you already know. For example, okay, cool. For your shorts, you know that you're gonna be looking for an entry. Just to give you guys the example, right? You're gonna be looking for an entry somewhere in this area to go to STP here. So you're gonna be looking at 169 pips on the table if you're looking for shorts, right? And if you're looking for long positions, you're gonna be looking for something like this in this area. And then let's say we get the break or whatever, you know, we'll get a position somewhere here, right? And you'll be looking for your STP at 148 pips. Cool. I'm cool with that, right? That's enough to pay bills. That's enough to eat food for a couple weeks. That's enough. 148 pips. We're cool with that, right? Look at the volume that just came in. Look at the candles, how it's printing, right? Let's look at it on the 30-minute. Crazy candle, right? Crazy wick to the bottom, crazy wick to the top side. Go to the 15-minute, same thing. Crazy wick at the bottom, crazy wick to the top. Go to the 5-minute, same thing. Big wick to the bottom, big wick to the top side. Just got to be patient, right? What did price do? Lower low, lower high, lower low, boom. Gave us a change of character to the top side. Perfect. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a trend. Right now, is price trending? No. It was trending at 6 in the morning, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, but then what started happening? High, low, lower high, lower low, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, lower low, higher low. Is that a trend or is that a zone of consolidation? It's a zone of consolidation. Price is just trapping traders, just moving sideways from 7:57 in the morning all the way till 9:30 for the last 2 hours. Price has just been trapping traders left and right. It's trapping traders. So cool. You already understand you're in a zone where the market makers are trapping traders. What are you going to do? You're going to rush to get into a trade, or are you going to just wait it out to start looking for the trend? Me personally, I'm going to wait for the trend. It's very simple. It's very simple. Right? We have a change of character, higher high, perfect. Right? We still don't have a set high just yet, but for the moment, we'll just keep it up here. Before I get into a trade, I need to see price give me a break of structure. After the change of character, I'm looking for the break. Once we get the break, we can start looking for an entry. It's that simple. Right? For gold, again, if you got into this trade here thinking that this was going to be a bearish engulfing candle to go short, straight to stop loss. Right? If you got into a trade here thinking that this was going to be the bearish engulfing candle to go down, straight to stop loss. Again, we already know, where are we? We're in a zone of consolidation. There's no trend. There's nothing for me to take a trade here. So cool. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a valid break above the highs. If we could get a valid break, retest, to then continue. We already know we could take these trades back to the top side. Let's look at the chat real quick. Anything else in the chat, guys? Let me know. Nothing new. Okay. Any questions? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over real quick? Anything that I've talked about in the last hour that doesn't make sense that you want me to repeat or that you want me to explain? Let me know. If not, again, I'll pretty much just keep the stream on till I'm done looking at the charts. Got 3 minutes for, well, this is a engulf. Let me see something. This zone of consolidation is on the 5-minute time frame. Come on, gold, can you please? Alright. Yep, we're on the 5-minute zone of consolidation, so we'll be waiting for that next 5-minute candle to print. And then we're looking at structure here on 30 on the 1-minute. So we'll be patient. For you, is there a time frame where an engulfing candle has a higher probability in a setup? I would say the 30-minute, Adrian. I would say the 30-minute engulfing candles have a higher probability. But again, it's all treated the same way. So like, let's say that the examples that I gave earlier look the same on the 30-minute time frame. It'll be treated the exact same way. At the end of the day, an engulfing candle is low probability or high probability depending on structure. So if you have a 4-hour engulfing candle, but on the 4-hour time frame you're in a zone of consolidation, I would be using the same examples that I just did on the 1-minute and the 5-minute time frame, and I would use that on the 4-hour, or I would use that on the daily time frame, or I would use it on the 15-minute, or I would use it on the 30-minute. But usually on the 30-minute time frame, the engulfing candles that are printed on the 30-minute time frame, usually those are high probability. We'll say 70, anywhere between 60 to 80% of the time. But again, it's really all traded and treated the exact same way. So it doesn't really, yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. It's really about structure at the end of the day. Right? Because if you could get a 30-minute, you could get a 30-minute bearish engulfing candle, but if on the 30-minute you're making higher highs and higher lows, why are you taking a bearish setup when price is still making higher highs or higher lows, or vice versa? Right? Why are you taking a bullish setup? Why are you taking a bullish engulfing candle when price is still making lower lows and lower highs? And again, that goes for every single entry strategy, right? Like, why are you taking an order block that's bearish when the market is still bullish, right? So it's at the end of the day, again, we say this all the time, market structure is king when it comes to everything above the rules. If you're taking a trade that's bearish but market structure is still up, you already know you're taking a low probability setup. It doesn't matter what time frame you're in. If you're taking an entry when price is in a zone of consolidation, you already know that that's a low probability entry. You know it's a low probability engulfing candle or a low probability flag post pattern or an harmonic pattern entry or whatever it is. You already know that it's a low probability entry because of market structure. It's not the other way around, right? It's not, oh, it's a high probability engulfing candle, so market structure has to be high probability too. No, it's the other way around. It's market structure comes first and then your entry comes, right? Your exit doesn't come first, then your entry, right? Your entry comes first and then your exit comes right after. So it's at the end of the day, market structure is where it's what you're looking for to determine whether something is high probability or low probability. Mr. Bashir, you said all good for me? All right, perfect, my brother, no problem. Shit. Where's US 30 going, man? God damn. Alright, so here we can see 30 is pushing up. They never make it simple for us, man. Why couldn't you just give me a better pullback on the 1 minute time frame and then give us these push? Alright, so let's, from the look of it, this shit is just gonna fly. It's not gonna give us no goddamn entry, bro. Let me put a line here real quick so I can know that this is the area of STP. Change this to red so I at least have an idea as to how many pips we're going to be able to catch if price decides to give us a pullback. That's the thing with 30 sometimes, right? 30, for the most part, again, you know, we could even do a quick back test here, right? You know, price is going to consolidate, and then as soon as 930 opens, right, 930, boom, just straight green candle straight into STP. It gave you no pullback. It gave you no opportunity to take the trade, right? So again, is this odd behavior? Is this something that is the first time we see it? No. We know this is US 30. We know this is how US 30 reacts. There's a high possibility that US 30 is not going to give you a clean entry and price is just going to go straight into where you have your TP at. It's a high chance that that's going to happen. It happens almost every single time. And that's okay. That's okay. Again, at the end of the day, I'm following my rules. Right? I could be correct all the time on the charts of what I think is going to happen. However, what I think and what's actually going on the charts, it's two completely different things. This is where a lot of traders fail because they let their egos collide. They think that they know more than the markets and they think they're smarter than everybody and they think that whatever the case is, they let their egos come to them. And this is where people start getting anxious. Oh, I gotta get into the trade now because I'm gonna miss it. I'm not missing nothing. Where's my entry rules? Are we bouncing off the 50 EMA for the entry? Do we have an engulfing candle? Do we see the 50 above the 200? Do we see a trend? No. So what are you gonna take? Right, at that point, are you taking what you think is gonna happen? Or are you taking an entry based on what you know is gonna happen? And right now, I can't take a trade. Why? Two reasons. Okay, yes, we had a little higher high, higher low, but is this a significant pullback? No. This is not a significant pullback. So for me, I'm not looking at this now as higher high, higher low, break of structure, higher high. All of this is part of the same trend. We don't have a pullback here. Price never gave us a valid pullback. This is all part of the same trend. So I can't rush into getting into a trade right now to go long because we don't have a valid break just yet. Now, this move that we have here and this pullback that we have here, this is a significant pullback. Right? This is a significant pullback. But at this point, if price were to give me a break of structure and a retest, STP is already right here. So once we get this position and once we see how price reacts, this is then when I would have to make a decision, right? A business decision. Is it worth it to get into this trade? Or do we let price do what it has to do? And we'll be back tomorrow. And we'll be back on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And we'll be back again Sunday night and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday of next week. I don't need to rush in to take these trades. All I know is that I'm going to follow my rules. And if my rules aren't being followed, I'm not going to take a trade. And if my rules are being followed, then cool. I'll start taking those trades and we'll repeat it again. Repeat the same cycle. Same thing with gold. I'm looking for a valid break. Have we gotten a valid break? No. All of these candles that printed after the first green candle above structure, what happened? Didn't close above crazy wicks exhaustion candles for 10 minutes straight. I'm still waiting for a valid break. Once I get a valid break, then I'll get into the trade. No need to rush into this. Again, we're talking about very big pairs. Gold and US 30. I'm not disrespecting my rules. I'm not doing it. It's way too expensive. And it's going to cost me a lot of money to fuck up on these pairs. I'm not going to do it. So I hope that made sense. STP would be hit. Yep, exactly. Gold is looking better. Sort of better. Please check your DM. The question I asked about the retest of engulfing candles on Friday. I got you, Albert. We'll let price here for these pairs do what they gotta do, and then we'll go over that question. Because that was a good question that you had too. I got you. Got 2 minutes left for gold. Any other questions, guys? Any other specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything you guys want me to talk about, let me know. We're waiting for a valid BOS on gold. What would be the perfect candle for you? It would just be a simple break. Like for example, this candle here that's gonna be printing in 52 seconds. If price could stay above the wick of this first green candle here, I'll be looking for that break. Now you'd be questioning, well, these two candles closed above, which okay, technically you're not wrong, but those candles that printed, what are they? They're exhaustion candles, right? They're like little doji candles, right? Candles that the body of the candle is smaller than the wicks, those aren't strong candles. Now a candle like this one, where it's a big wick, I'm sorry, a big body of the candle and a small wick is nothing crazy, then I would say that this would be a valid break. Right, now you see how this one just went all the way back down again. Right, now I'm questioning it. Now it's like, okay, if the body of this fucking green candle would have closed up here, it's a strong green candle. It's a strong break. The fact that it didn't give me that strong break, this is not a valid break for me yet. These are still just inducing the highs. Right? Why? Because again, the highs, you're looking at the wicks, you're looking at how the candles are still reacting. It's still not what this would be what a lot of people would call engulfing candles, right? Because it's bigger than the ones previously, right? Was this a valid engulfing candle? Is it bigger than the ones previously that were printed? No. So I'm looking for the same thing now. This next candle, if it closes above the green candle and it gives us a valid break and it gives us a strong printed candle with the big wick, then cool, we could say that. But let's say this candle closes like this For an example, let's say that this 5-minute candle closes exactly like this, still not a valid break. It's a very weak candle that's been printed. So right now for gold, we still gotta wait another 3.5 minutes, wait for that valid break and see what price wants to do. Then US 30 gave us a little higher low, looking to see if price wants to give us that higher high back to the top side. Dojis, thank you, that made it clear. No problem, my brother. What you doing with the Kia? Fixing it, bro. I don't really got another option. Um, waiting for my parents to fucking wake up, man. Like, dude, it's 10 a.m. Wake the fuck up. So they could fucking take me over there. I gotta get a new alternator. Oh man, but that's the fucking problem with fixing cars, yo, is that you fix one piece, and because that piece is new and it's connected to the engine and the engine is old and everything else, all the other pieces are old. Like, as soon as I already know how it's gonna be, bro. I'm gonna fix the fucking alternator, and then hopefully not, but fucking 3-4 months down the line I'm gonna have to fix something else, and then something else is gonna fuck up and I have to fix that. That's the shit that has me kind of stressed out. And I can't get a new car right now, bro. I can't do it. So I'm just gonna have to fix the alternator, and all I gotta do is just grind the car out for another year, bro. But right now I can't get another car, unfortunately. As long as I could get this shit fixed, and I could just grind this car out for another year. I just owe too much on it yet. I owe too much on that car right now still. So it'll just put me in a bigger hole for no reason. Right? Because then I'll get, let's say I get a new car. Cool, a new car is gonna run me what? Anywhere between 26 to 35. You add up the payments that I'm still missing for this car, it's gonna run it to 40, 50K. You talk about the monthly payments. I have just think about it. My sister, she has a brand new Kia. Yo, her fucking monthly payments are $515. That's crazy. That's insane. To me, that's fucking crazy. So there's no point. Unless I got the only way I'll do it is if I got a fucking Tesla and I lease it. That shit is chilling. But even with that, again, the fact that I would have to add on to the payment because I still owe on this car, I'll be paying the same shit for a Tesla. The only bad thing is that it's a lease. I won't finance it, because if I finance it, then it's not gonna be a $200 car. It's gonna be fucking 500, 600 bones for a fucking Tesla. It's just not worth it, yo. It's not worth it. A car payment should not be that fucking much. Yeah, on my car, yeah, I'm still missing like 2 years. I'm still missing like 2 years worth of payments on that car. It's criminal, man. Yo, I'm freezing. I'm about to go fucking put my hands on my mom's back so she go yell at me. Alright, here we go. So you see how this candle printed? Closed above, strong candle. Perfect. So gold got a clean break. Gold got a clean break on the 5-minute time frame. And again, do the same thing, right? So we're looking at STP. Where are we? What are we missing? STP already for gold has been hit. So again, it's just one of those unfortunate circumstances where, okay, for today, cool. We can't look for an entry. Because for today, price already gave us the move for the day. But we could already set this up for tomorrow. Right? And for tomorrow, what am I looking for? Well, we already have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. We know that we have gaps in the market. We have a gap for the market open today going into Tuesday, right? And we have a gap that was made on the opening for the week. So technically speaking, resets the trend. Could price continue the uptrend? Absolutely. Okay, cool. What am I looking for on the left-hand side? Clean traffic to the top side. What am I looking for? We're looking for price to give us a break of these highs here. If it gives us a break of these highs over here, we know that price is going to continue to go up until here, right? So cool. We could already get our charts ready for tomorrow. If price gives us a break above these highs, gives us a clean valid break, perfect. We know it's going to continue the trend back to the top. If price gives us an inducement of these highs, this is where we're going to start seeing price do something like this, and we'll continue to look for those short positions. Or vice versa. It's going to give us a break, retest to continue up until where? Up until the daily and the 4-hour highs, and we'll be looking for the same thing. Either for price to break, retest to continue, or we're going to be looking for price to give us a inducement to then go down to the bottom. Alright, so gold, we could turn this off already. We already know that this is done for the day. STP has been hit. We'll take a look at that later tonight in the isolation session and get our charts ready for tomorrow morning. And then US 30. Looking to see if there's any engulfing candles, valid engulfing candles. The wick and the body of this are very close. But the body did close above, so looks like price wants to give us a 5-minute engulfing candle. We have a minute 50 for that to print. And then on the 1-minute time frame, we don't have any engulfing candles. Right, again, the bad thing on the 1 minute is the structure. We're still on an uptrend. 50 crossed above the 200. Price broke above the 800. All the EMAs still look like we're on an uptrend. So then our STP needs to be adjusted if we're looking for shorts. Our STP has to be here. Right, we know that this is the STP for the buys. If price decides to continue the push to the top side, and this is our STP at the bottom. And again, we were looking for where the engulfing candle go. Was it on the 5-minute? It was on the 5-minute. That's insane work. You see? Boom. Faking traders out, yo. Everybody who thinks, oh, I'm gonna miss it because we have a 5-minute exhaustion candle, we're gonna miss the trade. You know, if you got into the trade without waiting for a valid entry criteria, straight to stop loss, man. On the 1-minute time frame, price gave us an engulfing candle bullish, but this is not a valid engulfing pattern because that red candle does not have a bottom wick to it. So we just gotta be patient. Just be patient. Wait it out. If price isn't giving you what you need to see, just wait it out. Makes sense. It's crazy. Valid BOS on gold. Yes. We cooked. Are stop hunts the reason Steve says you need to get out before the session changes? Yes. That's one of the reasons why. Yep, STP hit for gold already. Stop hunt high, hit the mayo. That's the reason for your type 1, type 2s, type 3s, right? What Steve says, which is stop hunt high, hit the mayo, right? Or stop hunt low, hit the mayo. That's the 15-minute type 1 patterns. Type 1 pattern in an uptrend or type 1 pattern on a downtrend. Stop hunt high, hit the mayo, or stop hunt low, hit the mayo. That's the reason when you're looking for a type 1 pattern, you're looking for the type 1 pattern to consolidate, right? The consolidation is going to happen between Asia and London session, and you'll be looking for your entries at the end at the end of London going into the NYC session is when you should be looking to take those entries. Right? In comparison to US 30, right? Another reason why I wasn't confident in these trades is because again the Mayo is the 200 EMA. If the 200 EMA would have been closer, if the 200 EMA would have been like this, right, somewhere like this or closer to the price, then I would have felt a lot more comfortable taking a type 1 pattern. But because we weren't that close to the 200 EMA, what was the probability that price was going to do the move that it gave us to the top side? What if that would have given us that push to the bottom first? And then price goes up again. Right? And we could use it as an example for yesterday. You have your consolidation between Asia and London session. Right? Stop hunt low, hit the Mayo, boom, type 1 pattern to the top side. Right? Let's use another example. Let's go look. Right? Another example. You have your 15-minute engulfing candle or your zone of consolidation between Asia and London session. Stop hunt low, hit the Mayo, happens right here. Type 1 pattern back to the top side. Zone of consolidation, boom, boom, boom. Stop hunt low, hit the Mayo, type 1 pattern back to the top side. Right, this is what your back testing should look like. I'm not gonna do your guys' homework for you, man. I gave you guys homework back in what, October, November? Nobody turned it in. Not a single soul. Right? This was the trade that we took in December 16th. Zone of consolidation. Zone of consolidation. Stop hunt high. Hit the Mayo. Right? Straight down. Type 1 pattern on a downtrend. This is what back testing should look like. Right? This one was just a very small zone of consolidation in Asia session. Stop hunt low. Hit the Mayo. Type 1 pattern, back to the top side. How many more do you want to see? Let me know. Alright, this was just a type 2 pattern. This was nothing. Alright, this is another one. Stop hunt low, hit the Mayo, type 1 pattern to the top side. These moves happen very regularly on US 30. So at US 30 I keep it cool, man. I know my type 1s, type 2 and type 3s are going to work out on gold or on US 30 every single time. Every single time. I just got to wait for it to develop. Once if it gives it to me, I'm taking it 100% of the time. Right? We're already I gave you enough examples there. So if the market would have given us the same shit as yesterday, would have taken it. Would have been such a more simple trade to take. But unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards today. Same thing with gold. It just wasn't in the cards today. It's all good. We'll wait it out. Right? Price on the 1 minute gave us a valid break. Unfortunately, we do not have any engulfing candles, so we can't really look for a simple trade. But we have so many other tools we could use. We have the fibs. We already know, based on the structure that I'm looking at and how price is reacting, I'll be looking for 48797, 797. We could potentially be looking for a 50% retracement. Right? And if we have an entry at a 50% retracement, we'll be looking for where our stop loss is at. That's where the dagger is now, which will depend on where the 50 EMA is at. In this case, let's say the 50 EMA is going to be here. Our entry is going to be there. Our TP is going to be at 93 pips. 1 to 3, not too bad. Right, a 92 pip TP based on this entry here. Now, could we have a tighter stop loss? Yeah, depending. The tightest I would put my stop loss in a situation like this would be right below the 61.8. It'd go from a 1 to 3 to a 1 to a 1 to 5. But it all depends on how the candlesticks are printing and where the 50 EMA is going to be at. It could be anywhere between a 1 to 3 to a 1 to 5. Sorry about that, but surely I'm not around when you give the homework. It's all good. Give us another homework. I gave you your homework already, Albert. You need to go look at what pairs have less than 80 pips and keep those on your charts. But that goes for everybody. That's for everybody who's not an advanced trader. Just look at the pairs that have less than 80 pips. All the other pairs that have above 80 pips, turn them off. Don't focus on them. Just update the ones that have below 80 pips. Right? And in this case already, US 30 already hit STP for the day. Very similar to gold. Didn't really give us an entry opportunity, which is again all good. Price already gave us a change on the 1 minute. It gave us the break of structure. Right? This is a chart where we could be ready to continue to trade this going into tomorrow, going into the rest of the week. Right? We have 1 day of rise, which was on Friday. I haven't even updated my chart, so we'll do this all tonight. Right? We had our 2nd day of rise, which was Monday. And then today, Tuesday, 372. Back to the top side. Right? If price gives us that 3rd day rise, after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Right? Where are we? We're at the higher high of the 30-minute time frame. We're at a higher high on the daily time frame. We're at the higher high on the 4-hour time frame. After a higher high is set, what does price need to do? Needs to give you a higher low. So we'll wait for the pullback. Again, we're just getting our charts ready. It's not a guessing game. It's not oh, is this gonna happen or is this gonna happen? No, it's not a guessing game. We already know what's gonna happen. Now, again, we already know what's gonna happen, but did we get an entry criteria? Did we get a reason to enter the trade? And unfortunately for today, me personally, I did not get an entry reason. I did not get my reason to enter the trade before STP was hit. So that's it. I'm done for the day. Look how easy it is. You close the charts and you go back. Was feeling frisky last night on EU 1 to 4. Yo, let me hold $1, man. Let me hold $1. And yo, Albert, we'll go over the Discord messages tonight in the isolation session. I got you. Cause I have to go pick up my car. So I have to get ready and change. I have to go to the mechanic, and it looks like it's gonna rain too, so I'm gonna try to get out of here as quick as possible. No entries, too much noise before flying. Exactly. I'm broke, man. Gotta pay the credit shit off. Then I got you. Damn, bro. Yo, pay for my alternator, man. Fuck it. The shirt shipped out bad. I fucked up and I put your email on it. I mean, not really. I just wanted to put it on the website first so I could put the tracking because I updated the website. So it tells you on the actual website when it got shipped. So I don't even have the fucking tracking number. Send it to me actually so I could test it out and then let me know if you received the email with the new website. Text me the shipping number, the tracking number. Get a mini OBD scanner, it helps, but yeah, I gotta get one of those for sure. Look at EU real quick. Fuck. Close out of the charts, man. EU. Would you take longs or shorts on EU? You have a change of character, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, right? Do we want to feel frisky and say that this is lower, low, lower, low, higher, high, higher, low? Right, this is where we got the inducement, higher, high, and then we have a change of character, lower, low, or do we say that all of this is part of the same trend, lower, lower, high, lower, low, and this is just another lower high? Um, Longs. Oh, so you took it literally as soon as the Asia session. See, you felt frisky. I wouldn't have taken this at all. Like, this is a very, very frisky trade, right? Because even if we do say that this is, let's say that this is a change of character higher high and we use our fibs, right? Did we get a, yeah, we did a little 23.6, right, to go to the top side. But it's a very, like, this one I mean, like, yo, you were feeling yourself. And the reason I'm saying that is because previous to this, right, you had the break below the 800 EMA. You know you're in level 2. You're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA, right? If we go and we say that all of this is part of the same trend, pretty much trading into that lower high point as well. You are filling yourself with this trade though. I definitely wouldn't have taken this, but it's not a bad, I mean, hindsight's a bitch. But if you had everything else, the 5 minute never gave you a change, right? It tapped into it, gave you an inducement, right? Just tapped into the 5 minute low. You got an engulfing candle as well, maybe. Right? You didn't really get an engulfing candle on the 5 minute. Let's look at the 15. Right? Nothing on the 15. If you go to the 1 minute, right, the 1 minute you got a little bit more detail, right? You have high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, change of character, higher, high, higher, low. Right, you're on the 800 EMA, you had the 50 cross above the 200. After the change of character, you have the break of structure, you have the retest. Again, would have loved it more if price would have given us an actual retest of the 200 EMA instead of the 50, but it'll be a very similar situation with the fib. You'll be looking for a 23.6, a 38.2, right, which you did get, and it was bouncing off the 50. Very frisky trade, I will say that. Very, very frisky. You don't have any engulfing candles on the 1 minute either, I don't think. You had one here that price tapped into. Yeah, you don't have any engulfing candles here, so not bad though. On the 1 minute was just a little continuation to give you a steeper pullback from the 30-minute lower low going into the lower high point. It's pretty much, but it's not bad. It's definitely not a bad trade. At that time, it was 12:55 your time. The entry was on the 5 minute. Check your phone. Let me sit down. Oh, so you got in even after the fact. Yeah, see, like, I wouldn't have taken that shit. I wouldn't have. It's very high risk. Again, like, anything down here, we could classify this as a little bit like, I'll give you the pass on this one, right? Because you had the internal inducement already. After the inducement, you had the shift in the trend, right? Even if you caught it anywhere, if you would have caught the trade anywhere from here to here, right, to capture these moves here, it's a little bit better than the outcome, which was catching the trade here instead. But again, here on the 5-minute anyway, right? You still didn't get an engulfing candle, it's not valid. So we can't even say that this was a good engulfing candle. It was just more, you were looking at the retest of the fib, right? And you had your fib at down here, right? From here to here, and then you had the retest of the 38.2. That continuation just gets tricky, right? Just based on, again, just the 30-minute. Like I would have, when I'm looking at a chart like this, and I'm looking to catch the pullbacks, right? You'll be looking at where your fibs would be, and again, if you're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Not only am I looking at the fibs, but I'm also looking at the EMAs. And the fact that we had the 200 and the 800, like if you would have held it for any longer, obviously you would have went to shit, right? Because again, price is gonna either bounce on or around the 200 EMA, and in this case, it bounced around it, and then it went, right? So it was a very very risky trade on that, to be honest. But yeah, I just saw now like STP was like you pretty much hit STP, which is good. But also keep in mind, it was just destruction on 5-minute. I would even considered it because 30 we broke the 800. I would also remember when you're looking at STP. In this case, technically speaking, yes, even though gold is in an overall uptrend, the trend for EU, did I say gold? I meant EU, sorry. The trend for EU right now is still on a downtrend. So in technicalities, STP doesn't need to be hit if you're trading pullbacks, right? If you're trading against the trend, there's a high chance, very high chance. I'm saying like you got very lucky in this case, right? Because the thought process of how you're supposed to look at a trade when you're catching a pullback compared to when you're catching a trend. When you're catching a pullback, STP is not going to really save you, right? There'll be times where, let's say you would have gotten into this trade and price literally just decides to hit the 200 EMA, right? Or if you're not using the EMA, you're losing the 800, or if you're not using EMAs at all and you're looking at structure, right? Very high chance that price could have just used the previous resistance zone, right? The high of the day that was created, and then reversed, right? Where in this case, they ended up giving you STP, so it worked out. But just keep that in mind as well when you're taking trades, those pullback trades, and you're looking at STP. But alright guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll keep you guys posted on tonight and if I'm on stream or not. Most likely I will be though, but I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna chill a little bit, get back to basics. It's not a bad trade, right? It's really not a bad trade at all. Again, there's ways to trade pullbacks, right? I'm not gonna be the one to say no, you shouldn't trade pullbacks. Like no, again, you've graduated enough, you've done enough work where you could get away with trading the pullbacks and be okay. But again, it's just those small simple rules where again, yes, even your trade, you already know you're trading the pullback. You're not trading the actual trend. You just gotta remember, like, okay, STP I know is not something that I want to use for my exit because STP doesn't have to be hit when you're trading against the overall trend. Now, again, yes, there is going to be possibilities. There are going to be days where STP is going to be hit when you're trading the pullback. Absolutely. But you always got to keep it, you got to one up the markets. Where again, if you understand, like, okay, level 2, 200 EMA, in this, whatever time frame it is, you just got to be aware, like, I'm in this trade and I'm babysitting it. There's nothing wrong with babysitting the trade. Again, I don't like to babysit trades. That's why I don't really trade that way. It's not something that I enjoy. But this is a case where if you're on the chart and you're babysitting the trade and you see, okay, price reached the 200 EMA, is price, let's say you're on the 5 minute, you go to the 1 minute. On the 1 minute time frame, is price still making higher highs and higher lows? Then perfect. Continue to hold that trade into STP. But if you would have gone to the 1 minute time frame and price is on the 200 EMA or the 800 EMA, and you see that price just gave you an engulfing candle or it just completely just started to melt, right? Then you already know, okay, cool, I'm gonna cut my entry here. I'm gonna take my profits and I'm just gonna wait for price to do what it has to do. We got a 3rd-month high on EU too. Thank you, brother. Good luck on the card repairs. Thank you, Mr. Asian. I appreciate you, man. But all right, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you later. Peace out. Any questions? Feel free to let me know, guys. You could always message me on Discord, post it in the chat, whatever is more comfortable for you guys. Peace out.